Why does Japan worship samurai more than any other culture worships their warriors? The answer is way more complex than you think. From historical survival to modern gaming, the samurai became more than fighters. They became an immortal cultural symbol. Samurai weren't just fighters. They were educated and literate. They wrote poetry, practiced tea ceremony, created art. And guess what? When warriors control the culture, they write themselves as the heroes. It's the ultimate positive feedback loop. Let's start with the obvious. Japan was in constant warfare for centuries. We're talking the Sengoku period from 1467 to 1615, where being good with a sword wasn't a hobby, it was literally survival. The samurai weren't weekend warriors. They were professional killers who kept their lords alive and helped unify an entire nation through combat. Here's where it gets interesting. Japan didn't just have warriors. They created an entire ethical code called Bushido. This transformed samurai from simple soldiers into philosophical figures representing loyalty, honor, courage, and self-discipline. Suddenly, being a warrior wasn't just about fighting, it was about being a better human. Think about this. The shogunate system put military leaders in charge of Japan for nearly 700 years. That's not warriors serving the government, that's warriors being the government. When your rulers are samurai, warrior values become national values. During the Edo period, Japan had over 200 years of peace. You know what happens when warriors don't have wars? Without actual combat, samurai transformed into idealized figures in art, theater, and stories. The legend became bigger than the reality. The physical body was not sacred in itself. It was a vehicle for expressing values. If ideals required bodily destruction, the body was expendable. Blood served as a visible statement that belief was stronger than flesh. When Japan modernized in the late 1800s during the Meiji Restoration, the government deliberately promoted Bushido to create unity and military spirit. They took ancient warrior ideals and used them to inspire a modern nation. It was cultural programming on a massive scale. Japanese martial arts aren't just about fighting, they're art. Sword making is craftsmanship. Combat has ceremony. Tea ceremony and sword training use similar principles. Japan elevated warfare into an aesthetic experience, making it culturally precious instead of just brutal. In a hierarchical society, the samurai emphasis on absolute loyalty resonated deep. Stories of warriors choosing death over dishonor or betrayal became the ultimate cultural touchstones. The 47. Ronin's story is still told today because it captures this perfectly. This removed chaos and fear from dying. When death is ritualized, it becomes ethical rather than tragic. Blood was no longer evidence of failure. It was proof of moral discipline. The connection between Zen Buddhism and martial arts gave warriors a spiritual dimension. Suddenly, combat training wasn't just physical, it was a path to enlightenment. The warrior became the monk. The sword became meditation. During Japan's imperial expansion, the government went all in on warrior imagery and Bushido values to justify military action and inspire sacrifice. This was warrior glorification turned up to 11, and it left a lasting mark on the culture. Warriors were trained from childhood to neutralize fear. Fear was not natural. It was weakness to be eliminated. By glorifying bloodshed and death, society normalized the absence of fear. This created soldiers capable of extreme acts without psychological hesitation. Now here's the modern twist. Gaming culture exploded samurai influence worldwide. Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima, Nioh, Samurai Warriors, Total War Shogun, Onimusha. These aren't just games, they're interactive experiences that let millions of people become samurai. You're not watching a warrior, you're mastering katana combat yourself. You're making honor-based decisions. You're living in feudal Japan. This created entire new generations of samurai enthusiasts globally while making Japanese people proud of their heritage. Gaming made warrior culture perpetually relevant. Japanese society historically prioritized group harmony over individual rights. The individual existed to serve the collective, family, clan, or nation. Blood sacrifice reinforced the idea that personal survival is insignificant compared to group continuity. Finally, international pop culture, movies, anime, manga, literature, made samurai globally iconic. And here's the key: that international fascination reflected back into Japan, reinforcing cultural pride. When the world loves your warriors, you love them even more. So there you have it, 12 interconnected reasons why Japan didn't just have warriors, they glorified warrior culture into something that still resonates today. From historical survival to modern gaming, the samurai became more than fighters. They became an immortal cultural symbol. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into culture and history, smash that subscribe button.